Hey, what's up you guys, it's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to go into chapter 6 of One of Us is Back by Karen and McManus, so let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, I suggest you click off the video now. You have been warned. Nate, Friday, July 3rd. All in favor? Santa asks. Each of my roommates except me raises their hand, which makes this a done deal, but Santa's a stickler for protocol. All opposed. My hand shoots up. Santa, our self-appointed house leader, even though she's been here only a few months, glances my way, and then at the girl perched beside me on one of her lopsided living room futons. Browen, you don't live here, she says. You don't get a vote. I'm still opposed, Browen says defiantly, raising her hand higher. Noted, Santa says, tapping her knuckles on the coffee table like a gavel. The motion to let Reggie Crawley stay in the house hereby passes. Browen sits up straighter, which I didn't think was physically possible, and says, you're all making a huge mistake. I rub a hand across my jaw and glare at my roommates. I knew we were going to lose this, that I was going to lose this, but the thing about being with Browen Rojes is you don't get to ignore shitty situations. You have to do something even when it's pointless, and then you have to keep talking about it. You're enabling Reggie and putting anybody who comes into this house at risk, Browen continues. He says the girl knows about the video though, Ch6 says, pushing a shock of bleached blonde hair off of his forehead. I roll my eyes. You seriously believe him? Some people are into that kind of thing, Ch6 shrugs. Who's to say? How about the people who went to high school with Reggie and know all about his creepy moda supernity? Browen asks. He doesn't care about consent. Trust me, that girl has no idea she was being filmed, and she definitely has no idea that he shared it. That's why we're here, because last weekend I walked in on asshole Reggie Crawley showing a sex tape to Ch6 and one of our other roommates, Deacon. They were stoned and not exactly worried about where or and how Reggie had gotten the recording, but I knew. I went straight into Reggie's room, shut the door and then the curtains, and used my phone's flashlight to look for reflections where they shouldn't be. Turned out the camera was on an alarm clock. I smashed it, but it's not like that's going to stop him from getting another one. Kicking him out won't solve the problem either, but at least it would be something. Didn't any of you see Katrina Lott's TikTok? Browen asks. Blank looks all around. None of my roommates except Reggie went to Bayview High, which is where Katrina went to. She graduated the same year as Browen and me, and she unknowingly starred in Reggie's first ever sex tape. Katrina didn't talk about it back then. She moved to Portland after graduation, but a few months ago she posted a video about how violated that tape made her feel. Almost everyone from Bayview High has seen it by now, and it's made me hate Reggie even more. You should watch it, Browen says. I'll send you a link. Okay, Santa says, but for now, majority rules. Santa won't admit, but her vote is mostly financial. It's not easy finding new roommates in July, especially in a shack like this one with no air conditioning and stuffy closet-sized bedrooms. If we toss Reggie, everyone's rent goes up by $150. Santa's even more strapped for cash than I am, and Ch6, Deacon, and Crystal aren't much better off. Nobody in this house gets any help from their family, or maybe it's more that, like me, they won't take it. My mother gives me a check every month and I deposit it untouched so I can give it back to her in case she backslides and has to go through rehab again, or my father does. We done? Deacon unfolds his nearly 7-foot frame from an armchair, yawning, and everyone follows suit except me and Browen. You guys suck, I grumble. Deacon shrugs. Reggie's a dick, but what can you do? I exhale a frustrated breath. I don't know, Deacon. Kick him out? Santa lingers in the doorway between the living room and the hall as the rest of our roommates file out. Her faded cotton skirt brushes the floor, which is the closest thing to being swept that it's ever going to get. Santa looks like some kind of old school folk singer with her flowy clothes and her fondness for wearing a headband across her forehead. She also plays the guitar badly, and she knows only one song. Years from now, I'm going to be forced to think about this house any time of your life comes on the radio. Reggie will have to be on his best behavior from now on, she says, including the 4th of July party tomorrow. Bedroom door open at all times. I snort. Way to lay down the law, Santa. That'll do it. It will, trust me, Santa says before heading upstairs. When she's out of sight, Browen mutters, this probably goes without saying, but I don't trust her. Uh-huh, I say. It's all I can manage right now. I feel the same tightness in my chest that I did at Bayview Country Club, like all the air I should be breathing has been sucked out of the room by a single poisonous thought. Some things never change. First Jake Wardian and now Reggie. What's the point of doing the right thing when assholes like that never bother and get what they want anyway? This isn't over, Browen says. We just need to take a different angle. Then she looks at me, really looks at me, and adds, it doesn't have to be right this second though. That almost makes me smile. Don't tell me Rowan Rojes is going soft. I'm not, just getting better at knowing when to take a break. She shifts towards me and puts her legs across my lap. We can talk about something else, like that movie you've been bugging me to watch. Oniba? I ask. I still haven't converted Rowan into a Japanese horror film fan, but that doesn't mean I've stopped trying. That's the one. It's old, right? Yeah, from the 60s. She lifts one hand to play with her hair on the nape of my neck. How bloody is it? Some of the tension drains out of me as I trace a circle on her knee with my thumb. Less than average, I say. Good to know. Plus, women do most of the killing. You'd like that. Rowan leans forward to plant a lingering kiss on my cheek. Yeah, I would, she murmurs. I can't help it. I start cracking up. This is the most obvious distraction attempt ever, I say. Rowan kisses my other cheek, and then her lips trail down my neck. Are you complaining? She asks with a smile in her voice. All my negative thoughts disappear as I pull her to me. Hell no, I say before lowering my mouth to hers. Her body melds into mine, fitting into places I forget exist when she's not around. I push her back against the pillows and kiss her more deeply, my hand sliding beneath the hem of her shirt until she breaks away with a laugh. Not here, she says, adjusting the glasses that have slid halfway off her nose. Her hair is mused and her cheeks are flushed bright red. She looks gorgeous. It's only a matter of time before one of your roommates comes back. My room? I ask hopefully. I have to meet Maeve in 10 minutes, she says. I can work with that. Before we have a chance to move, though, the doorbell rings. Not it, Deacon yells from the kitchen. Rowan slides off me and I reluctantly get to my feet. I can also work with 9.5 minutes, I tell her as I head to the front door. I'm expecting the FedEx person or maybe one of those randos Crystal occasionally does tarot readings for, but that's not who's standing on my doorstep. Hey, Dad, I say, opening the door wide. What's up? Hi, Nate. He's holding a cardboard box in one hand and shoves it toward me. Your lizard powder showed up at the house. Sorry, I say, taking it. I started sprinkling a calcium supplement over Stan's food last year. Another recommendation from Browen, which actually does seem to perk him up, and the online store I buy from still has my old address on file. Half the time I forget to check the right box when I order it. I could have just picked it up though. You're on my way to work, Dad says gruffly, shifting from one foot to the other. I'm not. He works maintenance at Bayview High, and I'm nowhere near that place, but I let it slide as I take him in. He's lost weight since he stopped drinking, and his faded t-shirt and ancient jeans are practically falling off him. I know my mother bought him a bunch of new clothes, but she finally moved out last month, so nobody's making him wear them anymore. My eyes go automatically to his hands, checking for the kind of tremor that would tell me he slipped up. I'm not sure when I'll stop looking for that. You want to come in? I ask, even though my mood plummets as the thought of losing what's now barely 8 minutes alone with Browen. I don't blame Mom for moving out. It's not like they had a real marriage anymore, and she spent more than a year helping Dad get on his feet and through rehab. She deserves her own place, and it's not like she can help him sober. It's not like she can keep him sober. He's the only one who can do that, but he's not used to living alone, so now he's always making excuses to stop by. Excuse me. No, that's okay. You're busy, Dad says. His eyes stray over my shoulder and he adds, Hi, Browen. Nice to see you. You too, Patrick. Browen comes up beside me, hair smoothed into its usual neat ponytail. I'm not sure when she got on a first-name basis with my father, but he seems to like it. I'm heading out, but I'm glad I ran into you. I've been thinking maybe Nate and I could come over and make you dinner sometime next week. My grandmother gave me a new recipe for sanchu soup, and I've been dying to try it if you're willing to let me experiment on you. A smile creases Dad's worn face, and for a second I see what my mother means when she says you two look so much alike. I'd like that very much any night that Nate's free, he adds with a hopeful look toward me. Once again, my girlfriend is a million times better a person than I am, because that invitation should have come from me. Wednesday probably, I say. Perfect, Browen says. Looking forward to it, Dad says. Then he shuffles back a step like he's about to leave, but he doesn't. Instead, he asks, Listen, Nate, are you sure you didn't pick up my keys by mistake? Not the house ones? He adds before I can protest, I did find those right where you said they'd be. The work ones, I can't find them anywhere. I'm sure, I say, unease creeping over me. Dad's back has finally fully healed after he was injured during a roofing job years ago, which is good news. In related news, though, he's no longer eligible for disability, so he needs to hang on to this job. Otherwise, my mother and I are going to have to pitch in to pay his bills, and that'll mean I have to get a third job. And Browen's arm links through mine with a reassuring squeeze. I can practically hear her saying one thing at a time, which is her mantra every time all the balls I'm juggling threaten to come crashing down on my head. Did you leave them at work, maybe? She asks. I don't think so, Dad says doubtfully, but it's possible. My brain, it gets foggy every once in a while, you know. Yeah, I know, I say. You need to retrace your steps. Want me to help you look? I'm not sure what good I'd do, but I have an hour to spare before I need to head to the country club. No, that's okay, Dad says, snapping the rubber band on his wrist. Mom told him he should wear one to do that anytime he feels stressed, and now it's a constant with him. You probably don't want to be around Bayview High today or any day for a while. I don't like the shifty look on his face. Why not, I ask warily. If he's stashing whiskey bottles at work, I will kill him. Not literally, but I want to. The kid, he works out there sometimes, Dad says. With his parole officer, at least, I think that's who it is. Some kind of cop-looking guy. I guess my brain can be foggy too because Browen catches on a lot faster than I do. Jake Rordian? She gasped, tightening her hold on my arm. Are you serious? Why would he be allowed anywhere near Bayview High? He's using the fields, Dad says. I guess it's some kind of thing they worked out with the court, that he can run around the track for a few miles. I gape in disgust, and he adds, he's not allowed in the building or anything. Jesus, so much for keeping him on a short leash, I say bitterly. It doesn't matter how hard I try to shove guys like Reggie and Jake out of my brain, they keep coming back, because people keep letting them. Yeah, Dad snaps his rubber band again. I know, I wasn't around much when everything happened, but I don't like seeing that kid there. Anyway, really. Dad wasn't so much not around as he was passed out, but the general sentiment still holds. You and me both, I say. The more Jake waltzes through town like he's a regular guy, the more people are going to start thinking that he is one, and in the wrong direction. And the impartial trial he's supposed to get will be suddenly based in the wrong direction. Instead of jurors looking at him like a criminal, they would have looked at me if I had ever been in front of them. All they'll see is Bayview's golden boy. Some things never change. That is the end of this chapter. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.